On the 16th of January, Reuters revealed that car plants in North America, the United States, potentially Canada as well, plus particularly in Germany and in Europe, will close this year in 2025. However, it was also revealed within the last few hours that the Volkswagen Group have agreed to Chinese companies taking over their factories in Germany. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching The Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. If you'd like to become a member of the channel, you'll be able to see videos, including my health and exercise routine, a bit more about myself, and also some insider videos as well. I'll put a link in the description below. Volkswagen says it is prepared to hand its factories over to Chinese automakers, which is not what I think anyone in Germany was expecting to hear. Now, the reason for this is because Germany's automotive industry is struck by a downturn, a terminal downturn, which is not going to be reversed ever, I don't believe. Executives at the car-making titan have signaled they would be open to tie-ups with Chinese rivals to use up the excess capacity in their factories as they scale back production. Basically, Volkswagen's looking for any way to make a buck. They need money. They have more than 200 billion US dollars in debt. Gernot Dollner, chief executive of Volkswagen's Audi brand, told the Financial Times that deals with electric car companies would lower the entrance barrier of these competitors, saying, for sure, that is thinkable. Okay, it's a done deal. Sorry, but that's basically what they're saying. David Powles, chief financial officer at Volkswagen's eponymous Volkswagen brand, told the newspaper this: "We're open for any discussions on any topic with any partner. In a dynamic world, you have to keep all options open, especially when you have no other choice financially." That's the situation that the Volkswagen Group are in. The chief financial officer says they're in a dire situation. It comes after Volkswagen last month abandoned plans to close its German factories because it couldn't. The German union said, no, you're not closing them. But you can fire 35,000 people. That's okay. So they bowed to pressure from unions to keep the factories open, and that makes these factories even more efficient than ever before. Production at these factories is around 40 to 50% of their capacity, meaning they're incredibly inefficient. The business had argued, or Volkswagen had argued, that its factories were built to supply a European car market where it was selling 16 million vehicles every year, but that there was now only demand for around 14 million cars. This means it does not need several of its factories and probably won't need any of them in 10 years' time. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? But that's what I think is likely to happen. They might keep a couple. Maybe they'll make Porsches still in Germany. But other than that, I just don't see how it makes financial possible sense for them. They have to compete against China. They have to, even the United States makes cars at a much lower price than Germany does. Volkswagen actually did drop plans to close the sites after agreeing to a deal with unions to axe bonus payments. We're talking 300 million euros in bonus payments to executives, and reduce staff by more than 35,000 between now and 2030. So it's scaling back production at these inefficient factories even more. So in other words, these factories are going to be even more inefficient than they already are today. At the time, Volkswagen said the deal would help it to make more than 15 billion euros. That's about 16 billion US dollars in savings. The signs that German car makers are weighing up deals to use up excess space in their factories come as they battle fierce competition from Chinese EV manufacturers and just Chinese brands as well, which have been flooding Europe with cheaper vehicles. But they're not just flooding Europe, they're flooding Australia, they're flooding Thailand, they're flooding Indonesia, Southeast Asia, Malaysia, all these markets where the Volkswagen Group sells vehicles. They're selling vehicles to those markets. And of course, they're taking market share from German car brands in China, which is actually even more important than taking market share from them in Europe, because the Chinese car market is much bigger than the European car market. In fact, it's more than double the size. More than double. 31 million cars were sold in China last year, whereas in Europe, less than 15 million were sold. The EU brought in tariffs on imports of Chinese electric vehicles last year amid claims that Beijing was handing companies unfair subsidies, which let the country's manufacturers undercut Europe's industry. Now, it was actually disclosed, or discovered, I should say, by the European Union that Tesla gets zero subsidies from the Chinese government. It's making nothing. BYD gets small subsidies, they claim, whereas state-backed or state-owned companies like MG get big subsidies. And still, Tesla did get tariffs put on it. So Tesla still has to pay the standard 10% import tax for all manufacturers. Anyone, even American car brands, want to sell in Europe have to pay 10% import tax. They have to pay that. But on top of that, Tesla pays an additional tax of around about 8%, I believe. So it's a total of 18%. And Tesla says that's not reasonable. Now, BYD says their tariffs are not reasonable. All of them are saying this. And interestingly, so is BMW. Why would BMW, and even in fact, even Mercedes agrees with them. So why BMW and Mercedes agreeing with them? Well, because it's China. German car makers have been struggling to catch up with the transition to electric car manufacturing after years where China has been leading the way on innovation. The downturn in Germany's automotive industry has sparked concerns across its wider economy, given it has historically been reliant on the sector. Germany is very reliant on its automotive industry for its GDP. And there's just major panic right now in Germany. Economists are concerned, very concerned. People in Germany are just thinking, holy hell, what are we going to do once we lose this industry? I mean, or even if we lose 80% of it. Now, analysts are saying that bankruptcies this year will increase by 50% versus last year. And last year was one of the worst years in the history of Germany's economy. One of the worst years ever. And they're saying bankruptcies this year will grow by 50%. We've already got a bankruptcy already happened within the last few days. One major automotive parts supplier in Germany that employs several thousand people have just declared insolvency. Earlier this month, figures revealed that the economy shrank for the second year in a row in 2024. According to the German Statistics Office, the economy contracted by 0.2% in 2024, following a 0.3% dip the previous year. Now, experts are saying it's going to contract again this year, which is a pretty major problem. Timo Wulmershauser of the IFO Institute in Munich said this: Germany is going through by far the longest phase of stagnation in post-war history. It is also falling behind considerably in an international comparison. Its wages are way too expensive, way too high. Labor costs are just much, much higher than anywhere else in Europe. But it's not just that. Bureaucracy is endemic. There is massive bureaucracy. Companies are not efficient. Companies are not efficient. There are huge problems with sick leave. There is way more sick leave in Germany than any other country in Europe by a factor of double. It's incredibly bad. The CEOs of these German automakers are just saying, we're getting screwed here. Staff aren't turning up to work. And it's true. This is not me making this up. They're public. These are public statements coming from German CEOs. Mercedes-Benz CEOs said this is a problem numerous times. Numerous CEOs of companies in Germany say this is a huge, huge problem. So what can be done to fix it? Well, probably nothing. But I could be wrong. What do you guys think? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments.